Hello and welcome to Law and Order SVU here on FANVERSATION. I am Yael Tygiel. I am joined by the wonderfully motionful
It looks like
Taylor.
I'm directing a plane to land or something. Hi guys, I'm Taylor Gates. What's up?
Hello, Taylor Gates. I did appreciate all of your hand gestures.
I get excited, I don't know where to put it, so it's got to come out somewhere.
It's perfect. This week, because SVU is still on hiatus, we are talking season 5, episode 17, Mean. This is one of my favorite episodes, and we have a special guest who will be joining us a little bit later. That's all I'm going to say about that. So before we jump in, as a reminder, if you are in a situation where you need help, if you were assaulted, if you're in a dangerous situation at home, please reach out to RAINN. Their number is 1-800-656-4673, 1-800-656-4673. I thought I had it memorized, and then I got worried that I didn't have it memorized, that I was saying random numbers.
It happens. It happens. But if you guys need a little shortcut, it spells out hope. So.
It does. Thank you. Also, this episode, like many episodes, are a little dark, and sometimes when the show goes dark, we make light, and that is what you should prepare for. This will have me saying offensive things, as always.
Here's the thing. This one might even have me saying offensive things, and that is rare. Like, I usually keep it pretty PC, but this one is a ride, start to finish.
I cannot wait to talk about it. So consider this your content warning before we jump into anything. I will also remind our audio-only listeners, thank you for listening to the podcast version. I want you to feel appreciated, even though you don't see us. We appreciate you.
And we look pretty hot today is the thing. So I feel a little bit sorry for you, but we still appreciate you.
Because it's Valentine's Day and we decided to wear pink and be your Valentines.
Happy Valentine's Day, everyone.
You're stuck with us. All right, let me get into the quick cap of this episode. Oh, I did not copy it. Hold on. I have it. 1 second. Wrong window. So good. I'm killing it today, guys.
Fine. I always have 4 tabs open during this too, because I have to switch. It's difficult. It's hard to master. Okay.
When a schoolgirl's body is found in the trunk of a car, Stabler and Benson find themselves investigating allegations of bullying among her classmates.
Yeah.
Dun dun.
True. Dun dun.
I miss our dun dun button.
Oh my gosh, me too. So sad.
Yeah. What did you think of this episode, Taylor? I know you're a fan.
I'm obsessed with this episode. It has, first of all, it takes us on a journey, like my favorite ones do. We go a lot of different places. There's a lot going on, which I adore, from this show especially. The quotes, I have 13 quotes written down. That is how amazing the writing is in this episode, especially from the Mean Girls and from people talking about the Mean Girls. I think is some of the funniest dialogue of all time of this show, and I'm really excited to reenact them for all of you at the end of the show and throughout.
Yes, this is one of my favorite episodes. Actually, the actress of Agnes, Linsky Allister, is one of my absolute favorite actresses, specifically from the early 2000s. And we'll talk more about that as we get into Agnes. But this episode really is one of my absolute favorites. And watching it now, looking back, I believe around that age during the time that this episode aired. Yeah. And I remember the flip phones, and when they're talking about, he sent the picture to everyone who had a camera phone, I was like, that's right, because not all phones had cameras. Also,
all of the technology was killing me.
Yeah, the idea that we would learn where the numbers were in text without looking, very much a thing. I had a flip phone. I had a flip phone that didn't have a camera, and the way you text is, or at least for me, was I would go ABC.
Yep.
DEF. Like I would count the number of pushes to know what the letter was.
I was on the tail end of that. So I texted like that for probably about 2 years in high school until like iPhones were the norm. But I still can relate, which makes me happy. I'm like, yeah, I did do that for like a couple of years. And I was bad at it. Like I could never master it. And so I was not a good texter. I didn't do a lot of texting when I had my flip phone because I was never the people who could just be like, yeah. And I was like, okay, 1, 2, 3, C, 1, 2, 3, 4, E. Like it was so hard.
It's funny because you said flip phone to iPhone. I don't know if you're aware, but there was an in between with full keyboard phones. That
Yes,
was a
and
thing.
I did have one of those. I had one where it opened this way and then it also opened this way for the keyboard. So it opened both ways, and that's still the coolest phone I've had. Like I miss it, I'm gonna be honest. Like, was it convenient? No. Was it easy to type on? No. But the fact that it opened horizontal and vertical, like that was something else. That was an invention.
Yeah. So this episode takes us way back, and I remember it was cutting edge at the time. It was the height. It was the most. It's the way we are now, where they talk about Finstas and Snapchat.
So true.
It was. Look, it had its finger on the pulse at the time, and I just want that appreciated.
It's fun to watch these like older episodes too, because it's like a little time capsule of like what life was like back then, especially in like season 1 with like chat rooms. Like that's not really a thing anymore at all. So it's always fun to go back and be like, oh yeah, that was 1999, huh?
I totally agree. In this episode, they mentioned screen names, and I was like, ooh, do kids not know what a screen name is? Because we don't call them that.
We call them like handles now.
Yeah.
Crazy. I love it. I love it.
Yeah. Oh man, what a good time. What a good year this was. All right, so we start our episode with a body frozen in the trunk. I really think it's wild that they showed us frozen blood. So gross.
Yeah, I loved the cold opening of this. The cold opening of this. Pun intended. I loved the people just working on the. Was it a tow truck? What kind of truck? What kind of?
Yeah, they were towing. They were towing the car because it was parked by a fire hydrant.
I loved them. I liked their banter. I wanted more of them.
Honestly, I miss the classic cold opens.
Right? Those are so good. Like they're always doing the weirdest activities, and they're like, a body.
It's always a service job.
True. Very true. Oh my gosh. Love.
So we find out as they're identifying or trying to identify the body that there's a missing girl. She's 16. Her name is Emily, and the car is registered to her father. So we put together that it is her body. This leads us to Andrea Kent.
Yes.
I know we save quotes for later, but I got to talk about her heartless mother.
Yes. I definitely wrote it down. But I first want to talk about her dad, not Andrea's, Emily's dad, was the most calm dude I've ever seen. Who had a daughter that just died. He was like, oh man, she was sleeping over at her friend's house. They had a history project. Oh man. Like he would have been suspect number 1 to me because he was way too chill for my liking.
That's fair. He wasn't even a suspect for a moment.
He wasn't. He was not crying. He was not screaming. He was just like, he looked like he was minorly inconvenienced. I was like, sir, that's your daughter. Like, that was wild. But yes, the mom was also a wonderful character. Let's talk about her.
Scare her a little. This is what happens when kids lie to their parents. I'm so sorry. Murder is what happens when your kids, ma'am, your child should be taken away from you.
Like she was so funny too because like again like none of the parents were good in this episode. Like I really do think they should have been suspects because she was like, I'm so sorry I'm late for work. Girl, this is your daughter's best friend. 10 minutes late. Like I think that they would understand.
Absolutely. So we get to the school and we pull in the girls. We pull in this clique and we meet Andrea Kent, Paige Summerby, and Brittany O'Malley. Thoughts on these girls? You said it.
Like this, like amazing. I love them. They are so they're just like the classic mean girl group, and they're so fun to watch. Like, because they're so selfish, they're so entitled, they're so just like the worst of the worst. And I think that like bratty teenagers is so funny, especially, and we'll get to this, when Olivia like shuts them down. It's always amazing scenes. So that was like a wonderful part of this episode for me.
Yeah, there's some of the best part of this episode, and that the scene, the first time we're meeting them, where, you know, we have the phone and we call the number and it's there. I'm like, girl, why is your phone not on silent? How stupid could you be?
It's such an idiot. Like, they just lie and then got caught out 2 seconds later. I'm like, think ahead. Like, get some critical thinking skills. Like,
also, you're in school. You're in school. Put your phone on silent.
Right. It's so true. I
can't. We then meet our 20-something Skeeve.
Skeeve, the grape, the dancing grape.
Yes. I have to call this out. It needs to be pointed out, as we always do here. The guy on set, the AD, who pointed us in the direction of the grapes, is played by actor Justin McCarthy. He is a 5-time repeat offender. My favorite time we've seen him, and I would say the most memorable, is in an episode where we think it's a child pornography case, and it turns out that the building is being poisoned by some pharmaceuticals testing out a drug.
Mm-hmm.
He is the earwax guy who stands at the door.
That just gave me such a weird flashback. Like, because I forgot that was a thing, and then you said it, and I was like, yeah, I can picture that very vividly.
Yes, Earwax Man is played by Justin McCarthy. It needs to be called out because this was his first at the beginning of his repeat offending.
He's so funny. I love that as like a direction that we went in this episode. It was just like it was probably like a Fruit of the Loom commercial is what I'm thinking.
I assume the same thing.
Amazing. Like, who thinks of that? Like, but thank you for thinking of that too. Like,
this takes us to the so we meet Lucas Croft. The grapes is useless. And we are taken to the comic book store, where we then get taken to the text records, which takes us to Emily was the bully. I know you want to talk about the comic book store, just because that scene was amazing.
I do, especially the line "psychos." They always love comics. I was like, Yael's gonna feel called out.
I was so offended.
I knew you would.
Here's the thing. This episode reinforced stereotypes like no other. And I did not appreciate that.
But that's what almost makes it so great, is that it's just like so cut and dry. Like, all these people suck so badly. But yeah, comic book man was cracking me up. He's like, I just found it this morning. He's like calling sex lines in the comic book store. Sir, I think that everyone needs some phone etiquette, like lessons in this episode. Like, that's not the time or place.
Yeah, I totally agree. I really appreciate their use of like the color pink, honestly, in this episode. The phone was pink. The nail polish was Boy Crush Blush, which is light pink. And what I think is odd, though, is this man was on a phone sex line, and he was like, oh yeah, tell me more. Sir, like, you're walking around? No offense, I'm not trying to tell you how to do your thing, but like, sit down, like, enjoy yourself. It just seems like you're trying to run a store.
If you're gonna do it, do it. Like, don't just half do it.
It just felt like we were supposed to walk in on him, like, you know, pleasing himself, and he wasn't.
The masturbator.
Yes, not a masturbator.
The masturbator.
Oh, that episode I just watched.
It's such a classic.
I really do like this whole part that took us to Emily was the bully. I do appreciate that it took us there. I think it's much more interesting to find out that the victim is not like just a victim. I think that it's so much more interesting and complex.
I agree. I definitely agree with that.
So this led us to the introduction of the Linsky family and Agnes, who was trying to get a restraining order against Emily and her friends. The principal did not think it was relevant to tell the police about that.
I hate that. I hated that guy because like when you get like teachers and like school administrators who like are trying to relive their high school experience with the popular kids, like that's so messed up. I hate that so much.
It's funny because we then got that really interesting conversation with Wong, where he talks about how it's easier for adults to think that the popular kids, that they're, average, normal, whatever, and that the people who are being bullied are just too sensitive. And I think that that's such an interesting concept that I wish would have been discussed more. Especially in this episode where the principal says that he calls Agnes socially delayed. And then we see her interact with Olivia, and at no point, she's like very aware of everything. She's
like the most mature person in the episode. It's just that everyone's blinded by like status and popularity, and it's so annoying. But I agree. I love that we have Wong come in. And he gives us so much during this episode. Like every week we watch old episodes, we're like, wow, like he gave us so much in this episode. Like, which is just further proof we need him back.
Yeah, I don't know how we continue without him.
Seriously, or someone like him. Like even if BD Wong's busy, which I know he is, he's like a movie star now, but we got to bring in someone to replace him. Like we don't ever just go with time without an ADA, really. Like there's someone that needs to replenish like the team when someone goes missing off of it.
Totally. I think, when you go back to season 1, what was his name? J.K. Simmons would appear as a psychologist throughout episodes here and there. And I think there were other people who appeared, and I don't know if they were from the mothership or just characters that came in. So it seems odd that we would start with just people coming in and out, then get Wong for so long, and then not have anyone after that. That just seems odd.
Yeah, and like not to skip around too much, but especially the season that we're on now with everything we're trying to sort of tackle with like just the state of the world, I think we need someone like him more than ever.
I totally agree. Yeah, that's well now I'm
when
sad.
We needed him most. He left us. He abandoned us.
Yeah, well, we had him in this episode, which is very lucky. And we, this whole scene with Olivia and Agnes talking, and after the principal, like it really brings up this idea of systemic fat phobia, which I think is something that I would love for the show to tackle now that we like are much more aware of this, because back then, at no point was it called out that the principal says she's socially delayed. Like she's not socially delayed. As Benson says, she says it's easier not having friends, but it doesn't make it any less lonely. But she gets
that
it.
line.
I really loved this scene. I love that Olivia can relate to her, that even though, Mariska is a stone cold fox, like Olivia had a troubled youth, and we learn through the years about her growing up and what it was like growing up with her mom. So I really love this scene, but I wish that the show would have done more to be like, wait, why are we claiming that she's delayed? Like this woman is all she's fine.
Prejudice. Yeah, exactly. I agree. It could have been 2 different episodes, to be completely honest. And I'm glad it was one because it made it such a dynamic, like all over the place episode. But this absolutely could have been 2 separate episodes where we focused on like the mean popular girls and then sort of Agnes's storyline.
Yeah, it's so interesting. When I think back on this episode, I think about the whole Agnes of it, but but that's not even it. She had nothing to do with it.
Like it's not the meat of the story at all. It's like a really good B storyline, pretty much.
Yeah. So we find out that Brittany was attacked by Troy Linsky, Agnes's brother. And we have, I'm sure, one of your favorite scenes.
Wait, the one where Brittany and Olivia are in the hospital?
Yes.
Okay. a classic. Let me even just bring up some lines right now.
Yeah, please.
Because I did love that scene so much. Shut up! Find the plastic surgeon. I want to get out of here. I thought the way that actor delivers it, like she eats this role. Like she absolutely crushes it because she's insufferable. And then she's like looking at the bandage on her head. And she's like, I just don't want to scar. And Olivia's like, I think you're going to be just fine. And she goes, well, thank you, doctor. You can leave now.
I do.
And she goes, I will.
And she goes,
you know what, honey? I will. After you answer a few questions. I was like, oh, I love the like snappy dialogue back and forth right there.
Daryl in the chat is agreeing. Best line ever. Absolutely. I think the way that Olivia was not, like from the first scene with them in the room with the phone ringing, Olivia's not falling for any of this. She can like see through them. And I wish we would have heard more about her. I mean, we did hear about like her growing up and that she tried to not have friends because it was easier. But still, I would have liked her to be like, I've met girls like you. I'm not scared anymore.
Yeah. Well, I think is also like the fact that she always roots for the underdog, and these girls are not underdogs, and Agnes is the underdog in the situation. So she kind of like naturally sort of wants to like build her up, and like is skeptical of the people that, you know, we think are like the popular good people, because they're not, clearly. If you spend 2 seconds with them, you know that they're awful.
Yeah, so we find out that Agnes's brother attacked Brittany because she sent pictures of Agnes changing. And I had questions about this law because he was like, isn't that illegal? And I was like, I think like it's illegal to take the pictures. I'm not really sure because she's 18. So like, I'm not really sure what the law is.
Here's the thing though. That whole scene made me angry because I feel like Elliot was so mad at him. And I'm like, good for him. Like, I'm glad that he did this. He should have done this. Like, I didn't like that he was like so angry. Like, I know you have to kind of lay down the law, like, to do your job and be in the position you are. But like, come on, like, sympathize, play good cop with this kid. Like, he was obviously protecting his sister.
I think Elliot has a very like black and white way of looking at things, and this boy pushed a girl is all he needed to hear.
That's true.
And like,
come on, man.
I know, right?
He deserved to push her harder. Like, I'm sorry, but that's awful.
Also, if let's say she had a scar, it was on her hairline. Like, no one's gonna notice. It's
fine. Her mom's gonna pay for plastic surgery. Like, nothing's gonna happen to her. It's gonna be fine. Get bangs down. Like,
yeah. Silly. I mean, at the time, side bangs were huge, so I'm shocked she didn't have them.
Start of the trend. Like, relax. It's fine.
So we find out that we get more information about Emily's body. She was cut with manicure scissors. I think this is what was fascinating because the depth and shape of the wounds were so complicated that the idea that like scissors were put in and then opened.
Thinking about that makes me just like, oh, ouch. It was vicious. So brutal. Like, this is more brutal seeing that body than like a lot of other ones, because it was so like Huang kind of says, like, it was so personal and like specific, like with the manicure system, like the cigarette that she smoked, like, oh, that's awful.
Yeah, no, totally. It's wild that they so it's the manicure scissors, and then they burn her with cigarettes, and then they cut her throat also.
Yeah. Like, and for what? I think you did the job already. Like,
well, so when you remember at the beginning of the episode, so she was alive through all of that because the car was turned on, keeping her body warm. So she was alive through all of it and then slowly froze to death. That was what killed her.
Oh. That's brutal.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. I should have
yeah. Daryl's reminding us she bled out for hours.
Oh.
This episode got gruesome.
We got very gruesome very fast.
So that all leads us to my favorite part of the episode is know any bottle blondes? 3.
You always say that line, and it's so good.
It's one of my favorites. I don't know why, because
it's so witty. Know any bottle blondes? 3.
Yeah. So this leads us to even more explanation of this culture of these girls. We learn about relational aggression. I have this information for us here. Relational aggression is non-physical aggression towards another with the purpose of bringing down their reputation or social status or heightening one's own social status. Because teenage girls are often in high school competition with each other, there's a major focus on them and relational aggression.
Did this episode or Mean Girls come out first?
Oh, this episode for sure.
This episode? That's wild, because it's not obviously the same, but the concept is very feels
the same
similar,
year.
Obviously. Interesting, because that's what I thought. I think that there was kind of more awareness, because I know there was a book that Mean Girls was based off of, and it wasn't a fictional book; it was a nonfiction.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that kind of inspired both at the same time.
Well, so in a bit we'll get to the ripped from the headline that this is taken from. But great question about Mean Girls. Because it did, Brittany very much felt like a Regina George. So
yeah, and just the whole concept of forcing other people to do stuff because you have power over them. I don't know, it felt very similar in ways, which I liked.
Yeah, so then as we're learning this, and Wong points out that there must have been a betrayal in the inner circle, our detectives go to the school and start asking around about these girls. And I got so annoyed at everyone making excuses and being like, it's hard to be popular.
It's really hard to be popular. Shut up.
No, it's not.
It really is not. Oh my God, they were so obnoxious. Yeah, they were annoying. They weren't fun annoying. They were just annoying.
I totally agree. So it found out that Emily was pulling away and that she didn't like Brittany anymore. And it takes us back to Lucas, our 20-something skeeve.
Eve.
A lot of alliteration this episode.
It really was.
3 bottle blondes, 20-something skeeve.
They killed it. They took some poetry classes before writing this classic.
So Lucas is told to hit on Emily because it's a friendship test. Look, I know that we're looking at this being like, this is stupid. That was so
People do that.
It was 100% a thing.
It's still a thing. Have you ever seen the stupid skit TikToks? All of this is like that. So annoying.
Yeah, it is definitely a thing. And I was like, ooh, flashbacks to high school.
Oh my gosh, so dumb. If you have to test a relationship like that, it's not worth being in it.
Yes, that's a great message.
Thank you. On this Valentine's Day, if you need to test your significant other like this, get out. It's not worth it. Or go to therapy, because maybe there's something that you need to fix in yourself.
Yeah. It seems like you have trust issues.
Yeah, maybe just a little. How does it make you feel?
We also find out from Lucas that Brittany poisoned Buttons. I was like, can we go into that more?
The way it never comes back is what gets me.
So
the line delivery of that, by the way, I think she poisoned Buttons, my cat.
So she murdered a cat. She viciously and brutally attacked this girl. This girl's a sociopath.
That's exactly what I was thinking. And we're treating her like, oh, mean girl no. This is Ted Bundy. This is Teddy Bundy.
Yes.
I hate it here.
100%. So the trio is arrested. Oh, hello? Did we lose you? You're there.
Nope, I'm still here.
Okay. So the trio is arrested. I really like Novak's questioning, when she's like, was it this? Because we can check that. Was it this? Because we can check that. And then she's like, why are you so mean to me?
And I love the transition. Like, why are you being so mean? And then we go to the next person who, and it's like, because you're lying to us. Like, such a good scene. Casey Novak. We'll get more into her, but this episode is a prime reason why she is my favorite ADA, and I know that is a bold claim because people love Alex and people love Barbara, and while I love both of them, Casey's my girl.
Wow.
Casey's my girl.
Big claim. I agree with you though. The scene where we have the 3 different interrogations is incredible. And in the end, Andrea and Paige crack, which I love.
Me too. I'm glad they didn't do anything. Oh, I'm glad that you're saying that. That's exactly what they're telling us too. They're saying you did it.
It's like you wrote down the whole episode.
I pretty much did. I love this episode.
I'm so glad. So we then are going into our court case. We have this mob mentality, and we learn about small group dynamics like soldiers and cults. And we have another really great line during the trial, which is that being weak is not an excuse for murder. It's just pathetic.
It's pathetic. Yes.
Honestly,
amazing.
Casey's a bully.
I don't care. She deserved to be. Like, she can bully me any day too. Like, come on.
Yes. And then the whole case turns on the class ring.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant. I love this twist so much.
Yeah, tell us about it.
Okay, so Casey is examining Andrea on the stand, and she's like, we were celebrating my birthday, and she's like, oh, in January you're a Capricorn, like, interesting, that garnets your birthstone, yeah? And then she was like, what kind of ring were you wearing? Oh, that's a September birthday, that's my birthstone. And you know who else's birthstone it was? Emily's. And then we get an explosion because she's like, Paige took it off of her dead body and gave it to me. And then Paige was like, well, you stole her Prada purse. And it was so good.
Yep. Thank you.
30-second SVU right there.
Genuinely, that explosion is so good.
I just love that. Like, I love it when little details like end up mattering a lot. And the class ring birthstone and Casey like clocking that as she's like doing the questioning, so good.
I totally agree. It's interesting how many cases we've had on the show where someone is testifying and is wearing something they stole from a dead body.
Absolutely dumb. But honestly, it made sense in this case because they've gotten away with everything in their lives. Like, they just assumed that would be fine. They'd get away with it.
I think one of the things that's interesting is, or I think a missed opportunity. I mean, I guess these girls are dumb, but I think that if I were Andrea, not to say that I murdered anyone, but
you're Andrea.
If I were, I'd say that I'm more of a Brittany, but okay. How dare you? True. I'm not pathetic and weak.
I'm just Paige. I'm just an idiot.
Well, we'll get back to this. Well, let's finish this point.
Tag yourself.
Totally. No, I think when they talk about this small group dynamics and like that these girls were weak and have self-esteem issues and followed what they were told to do, I personally was like, why would you do that? Because I wasn't, although I was a fat kid in school and I was weird, I wasn't insecure about it. I was aware.
No, I was a floater in high school. I just got along with pretty much everyone.
Yeah.
But my high school wasn't like this. Like, my high school was we were all pretty nice to each other for the most part.
I mean, yes, I would say at one point I definitely was a bully, and there were points where I was bullied as well. I feel bad for the bullying I did.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I mean, you didn't put anyone in the trunk, I don't think.
I didn't murder anyone. I didn't put anyone in the trunk. I mean, I put myself in the trunk quite a few times. Anyway, long story.
We'll take that offline.
I will say, Daryl says, Taylor took me right back to that courtroom scene. So good.
It was like that offline.
I don't know. I will say Daryl says Taylor took me right back to that courtroom scene. So good. Anyway, long story. I will say Daryl says Taylor took me right back to that courtroom scene. So good. I will say Daryl says Taylor took me right back to that courtroom scene. So good.
Thank you so much. If you guys are looking to cast, I'm not an actor, but I'll do it for you guys.
So the class ring thing, the thing that like pissed me off is if the girls were smarter, she would have been like, of course I took it. She was my best friend. I wanted something to remember.
Right.
Like,
right. That's so true. Think on your feet, guys. The thing is, they didn't have a plan for anything to say. Like, they were just changing the story as you went. I'm like, if you kill someone, have a very tight alibi, have a plan. Any line of questioning you get, know the answer to it. Like,
yeah, they thought through enough to do the fake sleepover. They thought through enough to have the story of, like, this is what we did for the night. That's the story. Have it be solid and do not deviate. Even when someone's like, this is a lie, be like, I don't know what to tell you.
That's what happened.
That's what happened.
Exactly. Yeah, they did not do enough. They didn't think far enough in the future as they should have.
I'll say Brittany is she's bad at being a sociopath. She didn't think it through.
It's true. You need more training.
You're a plan to murder. Think it through.
Think it through.
Because it was planned. Like, I think that's the thing, that like it wasn't a heat of the moment thing. This was orchestrated.
It's very orchestrated. But then you didn't have any answers.
Right. Silly. Anyway, so after the trial, 15-minute jury, which I think was wonderful.
So good.
So good. We find out that shots were fired at the school. We go in. Agnes shot some rando girl. Written on her locker, it says Agnes the pig squealed. There was a dead pig.
Ugh.
I had questions about that. Whoever did that
I feel like they probably got it from the bio lab.
Is that a thing?
Mm-hmm. Pig fetus, you dissect them in biology sometimes.
Gross.
I don't know why I like thought of that detail, but I was like, where would they have gotten it? I was like, oh, probably the bio lab.
No, that does sound familiar. That sounds like a thing they used to do in the old days. That was how schools would happen.
Well, I had to do it, and I was luckily had strep throat 2 of the 4 days, which thank God, because I did not do well with that.
We didn't have to do that. Anyway, at the end, Agnes says they went to jail and it didn't make a difference. It was never going to stop. And I think that is one of the most like heartbreaking, again, this systemic fat phobia that she had to deal with. And that like the episode ends with this poor girl being like, I'm sorry, do I have to spend the rest of my life being treated like shit? Is that
Here's the thing though, Agnes, like you waited like 15 minutes after the verdict. Like give it 2 days, you know, like you don't know that it's not going to change necessarily.
Well, during the trial, she got bullied. So like
okay,
it didn't
during the trial. That's true. After they go to jail, maybe, you know, but yeah, I guess you're right.
Like there was the stuff on her locker.
I'm just sad. I just wanted Agnes to thrive.
I did too.
She didn't.
I did too. I want to talk a little bit about Agnes some more. I was going to wait for our guest to join us, and I don't know when that will be. But we'll start talking about Agnes, and hopefully she will join us. I love this character so much because I feel like she is so relatable. I mean, a lot of people were bullied growing up, and you know, a lot of people are insecure, and I think it's a really relatable character to have. I have to call this out. Zach in the chat says, curious to know what the PA that was told to get the dead pig for the scene.
So true.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm assuming that was
Jimmy.
not real. That's a good question, but I'm assuming that was not a real.
I don't think it would be really. I feel like Pito would have been like mad if that was real.
Yeah.
Also, a funny thought.
I assume on SVU that they have to get some weird stuff.
So true.
Whoever the PA is that is responsible for that, the person they get the weird stuff from is like, oh, hey, good to see you. What do you need today? You know what I mean?
Oh, a jar of 15 eyeballs? Great. Do it.
Oh, you want an ear that looks like it's been cut off? Do you want it like surgically removed, or do you want it
Oh, so true.
right? Yeah. Tell me about your favorite lines. Let's do that. Taylor, I know you got a bunch.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So yes, we've said a lot of them. So I only have like 4 left that we haven't said.
Good.
But I love when we're talking to the is it Taru? Is that what you call that department? The guy that was looking at the phones. And yeah, I can't pronounce it. I was like embarrassed to try to say it, but I was like, she's not gonna know what I'm talking about. Taru, Taru, whatever. It's fine. But I love how I forget who asked it, but there was like, are there any way to find out who she sent these messages to? And the guy's reaction, he's just like, yeah. He's like, I got you. Like the way he said yeah was like so funny to me. He's like, yeah.
That scene, I think, is one of my favorites because you have these 2 grown men discussing teenage texting. It's just so fun.
It's so fun. I love that guy. Like he was just like so happy to oblige. He's like, yeah. You champ? Like it's so funny. I love Elliot's quote. I love these little cliques. It's like the mafia, which is true. I love when they were interviewing our 20-something-year-old Ski, and they said, "Can you act like a prison inmate?" And then finally, during Brittany's testimony, she said the way she said it was funnier than the actual line. But when she says, okay, then after that, Paige was hungry, so we went to get waffles. Like, love the delivery of that so much. So we went to get waffles. Like, so casual.
It's
I loved
great.
it.
I'm so glad you brought that up because I've seen this episode a million times, and I was like, burgers. They went and got burgers, right?
Me too. This is some like, oh, what is it called when there's like the butterfly effect or whatever, like the Mandela effect? I literally thought it was burgers too. Like, distinctly remember that, but I guess I went to get waffles.
They went to get waffles. I was like, burgers, right?
Burgers.
Nope, waffles.
I swear to God, I felt the same thing. That's so funny.
Zach's line about the use of 10 O's in the girl's message. Yeah. What's his name is so 10 O's cute.
God, this episode is just so good.
Yeah. Daryl says it was a great performance by the actor who played Agnes. Yes, Lindsey Allister. I'm such a big fan. I will say this. In the early 2000s, Lindsey was in an episode of a show, or was in a few episodes of a show called Boston Public, which was a show that I was obsessed with. And it was just a really good show about like, it was a drama. It was a high school drama. No one remembers this. But if you watch Boston Legal, it's the same guy. It's David E. Kelly.
I know, because I was going to say, I was like, do you mean Boston Legal? And you just like missed her. Wait, but now I'm interested. That's
before Boston Legal, there was Boston Public.
Public, okay. All right.
It was like like the old school David E. Kelly shows, like Ally McBeal, where it was a drama that was very witty and funny, and there were all absurd characters. So in Boston Public, Lindsey Allister played a girl named Christine Banks, who was a plus-size woman who was bullied and eventually joined the wrestling team and was one of the best wrestlers.
I love that.
And so I was like a really big fan because as a plus-size girl growing up, I was like, oh my God, there's someone on TV who looks like me.
Yeah.
Yeah. After that, she did an episode of Popular. She did an episode of ER. She did an episode of Nip Tuck. Like she was everywhere.
That's awesome.
And then, of course, she was Agnes on this episode of SVU, which is, I think, one of the most amazing things ever.
It is. It's very good.
Yeah. So I'm a big fan, and hopefully she will be joining us before our show ends today.
Yes.
I also want to give props to Kelly Garner, who played Brittany, because she's been doing, I feel like I don't recognize seeing her since this episode, but she's been in a lot.
Yeah. Her face was familiar. I didn't know like what else she was in, but I feel like I've seen her in other stuff.
Yeah, I feel like you gotta look at her IMDb and see what it is that you're familiar with and be like, oh yeah, you know?
Yeah. Ariel Keeble, right? Treble? I never know how to pronounce her name.
Yes. Ariel, I think it's Cabell.
Oh, okay. Well, good. I didn't say that at all. I know I can spell it, but I don't know how to say it.
So I'm pretty sure it rhymes with Yell because I think, oh no, Ariel rhymes with Yell. Because I interviewed her and she was like, our names rhyme.
Oh my gosh, no, she's so cool, and she's so good on Unreal. If you guys have ever seen Unreal, she's amazing in that show. She's been on Gilmore Girls.
Midnight Texas, which I covered over at AfterBuzz, and on that show she played an assassin, like a badass assassin. So to see her go from this like very weak, like very easy to push around girl.
I mean, still an assassin, but
different
breed of assassin.
Murderer and assassin, they're a little different. One takes skill. I think that if she were an assassin, she would have come up with the line about why she took the ring.
So true. That's a good point.
Yeah, but you've seen her everywhere. She was on Vampire Diaries. If that's your jam.
Not mine, but Gilmore Girls was, and she was Dean's wife, so.
Yes.
Ooh, spicy drama.
Dean's wife that was cheated on? That Dean's wife?
Indeed. Lindsey.
Honestly, this episode is packed full of people who went on to do incredible things, and should be appreciated as such.
Agreed.
That said, this episode was in fact ripped from the headlines. We did talk about the idea that it may have been inspired a little bit by Mean Girls. I'm going to say maybe, because there is an actual headline that it was ripped from, and it is the murder of Shonda Scherer, whose parents, I'm going to say, are jerks for naming her Shonda when her last name is Scherer.
Shonda Scherer. I kind of like it. It's so close. Shonda Scherer. So catchy.
I know.
Shonda Scherer.
So she was 12.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And she was tortured and burned to death in Indiana by 4 teenage girls. And the girls were age 15 to 17. So what's interesting about this story is there were 4 girls involved in the murder. The ringleader, it's a whole different story. So the ringleader was named Melinda.
Okay. You got there.
I got there. So Melinda was, if I understand the story correctly, Melinda was in love with a girl named Amanda.
Oh, we got a lesbian love triangle?
Oh, yes. So.
Okay, why didn't we capitalize on that part?
That's a great question. So at some point, Amanda and Melinda broke up, and Amanda met Shonda.
Oh, spicy.
Yeah, I'm trying to follow all these names.
Yeah, it's a lot. We need a diagram, a whiteboard behind you, connecting it.
So then Melinda got met. So that's the basic that you need to know, is that there was a love triangle, all ladies. Yeah, I kind of wish that's where we went with this.
What the heck? Why did we get deprived of that?
Because we needed a 20-something skeeve.
True. But we should have done another episode with that. We haven't really had that many good lesbian love triangles in this show yet.
Honestly, up until I would say Kat joining the team, SVU really did not do well with queer characters.
No, and let's be honest, if it would have been it would have been pretty offensive, I think.
They've
tried for me.
They've done a lot of gay men stories that are always AIDS or drugs, or it's it's hard because the show's setting is terrible things happening to people. So like we want representation,
Yeah.
but we don't want terrible things happening.
No, very true, very true. But like these characters were just so like sassy, and it could have been fun to like add that layer to it. Oh, I also wanted to. There's a quote I just saw that I forgot to say, but I love that we were talking about Andrea's parents. Her parents continue to suck because they let her talk to a lawyer without them present, and they're just like, "So where are your parents?" And she's like, "Napa Valley."
Right. Yeah.
I just wanted to bring that up because I saw Napa Valley on my notes, and I was like, that line made me laugh out loud. Napa Valley.
Yeah. I mean, I really do like, it reminds me of, we've had other episodes where like where there's privileged white boys and their parents happen to be off somewhere and they're like, whatever. So it's interesting to have that with girls now.
Yeah, I agree. Her mom just sucks. That's so bad.
Yeah.
For the whole episode.
Totally. The parents, I mean,
terrible.
Mom lets her speak to her that way.
Yeah. Go get the plastic surgeon.
Shut up.
Shut up.
My mom would hit me. My mom
never
would if I dared.
Yeah, that would not have worked. That would not have worked in my house. Shut up.
All right.
It reminded me a little bit of our Sarah Hyland Hot House.
Yes.
Love it. Love that energy that we bring.
Okay, let's talk about our weekly poll.
Let's do it. So last week we talked about your favorite teen pregnancy episode. There's a lot of them. We had like 8. We had to narrow it down to 4. But in 4th place, sadly, we have Savior, which got 12% of the vote. It's a great episode, so I'm a little bummed it got 4th, but these were all good. We had Patrimonial Burden in 3rd place with 20% of the vote. We had Babes in 2nd place, which, like, you know how much that hurts me because I love Babes. But if Babes had to be beat out, I'm glad it was by Charisma, which is the one we talked about last week, which got 40% of the vote, so I'll allow it. Yeah, that was the results of last week's poll. This week, boy, we have a great poll for you. It's your favorite Casey Novak episode. There are so many. As you know, I love Casey so much, and so it was hard to narrow it down for me, but here's the 4 that I picked. We have Mean, of course, which is currently in last place, which is very upsetting. Maybe that will change by next week. I think that it might, which we just talked about, of course. We have Night, which is season 6, episode 20. That is the one where she gets like beat up when she and Olivia are at the office and like someone delivers flowers and then she's in the hospital. And fun fact, I like read an interview with Diane Neal and said that she actually got knocked out in that scene. And so that was the take they used, I think, too. Like when I think he hits her with a lamp or something, she actually got knocked out, which is wild. It's a wild fun fact for you guys. We have Svengali, which is season 9, episode 6. She's not actually in that one that much, but the end is so good. That's where there's like this like crazy serial killer, and it's the guy who's in like Chernobyl and Mad Men. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes,
the
yes,
British
yes.
guy.
Yeah.
He's like the crazy serial killer, and then he's like, I made art on their bodies and whatever, and then she like makes a deal with him and then like somehow twists it, and then the last line of that episode is, how do you like my work, which is such a good moment. That's a great episode. And then we have Blinded, which is season 9, episode 7, and that is the one where we find out that her boyfriend or like ex-fiance used to have schizophrenia. That's also an amazing episode. And Ellie gets blinded temporarily, which is like wild and wacky.
Oh,
it's
that's
so funny.
to the arc.
Yes, I always forget like these episodes exist, and I'm like, oh my god, like I need to go back and watch because I usually stick to later-ish seasons, but like 6 through 9 had some gems. And I'm very sad that I could not include Impulsive, but that's the one with Melissa Joan Hart, and the like. That one, that storyline is crazy, but a line from that lives in my mind rent-free that I want to share with you guys is Olivia is like fighting with Casey. I love it when they argue because they're both like such good arguers. And Olivia goes, I can't even throw you a life vest. And Casey goes, I'm a big girl. I know how to swim. I'm like, I love that line so much. Like, seriously, think about it. And then, fun fact for you guys, because I did a lot of research for this poll. Casey's last appearance was in season 13, episode 18, and it was called Valentine's Day. So that works out very well for today.
Valentine's Day is the episode with Chloe Savigny where she fakes her own rape on video chat.
Correct. And so I just wanted to drop that knowledge on you guys.
Thank you.
Very good coincidence.
What a great, I love how much research you did. Also, I love how much we remember these episodes from one line. That's the thing where I don't remember most episode titles the way you do.
Yeah.
I remember a thing in that episode, and in my head, that is what the episode is called. So,
like, yes, I feel like when I look up Impulsive, I was like, what's the one where she says, I'm a big girl, I know how to swim? And I was like, I don't even remember what the plot of that one was. And so I had to like Google, I'm a big girl, I know how to swim to get that. And then I had to like, I was like, schizophrenia, what episode is that? And it's not the one called like Schizo, which I think is an episode title, which I always think it is for obvious reasons.
Yeah, it's not that one.
Well, Blinded.
It's the one. It's Hearken to the Ark. He's the author who's talking to his dead sister, and that's the thing he says, which takes him to like Washington Square Park.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I want to rewatch every single one in this poll so badly now because they're all so good, and I haven't watched the Casey episode in a minute, like one with like her featured. But season 9, she's featured a lot because. It's funny because Svengali and Blinded are back-to-back episodes, which is crazy.
I honestly, pulling up this episode, season 5 is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Brotherhood is in this episode. That's the one where you first meet Tau Omega fraternity.
Is that the one where they beat each other up on the mattresses?
I don't know. It's the one where they use a paddle to sodomize.
Oh. What's the one where they use like a plastic baseball bat with like barbed wire around it or something?
Oh, that's the one.
That's not Brotherhood.
That's Pretend. That's one of your favorites. It's the one with the girl whose jaw gets wired shut.
Pretend.
It's the one where she goes,
She goes, you can't cry with your mouth wired shut. You're not going to be able to breathe.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry for the last 10 minutes of the show because we just ripped off of each other, but like I hope that's what you come for because that's what you're gonna get every week.
Before we tell you where to find the poll and what is happening next week, let me remind you of our newest segment, our favorite segment, and it is What Did We Learn?
Oh my god, I learned so much.
What did you learn?
I want to like, what did I learn that's like the most relevant though? I think that I learned the birthstones because I didn't have a lot of knowledge before that. And she's like, January Capricorn, that's Garnet. Oh, September Sapphire, that's my birthstone. And so now I kind of like know the January and September birthstones.
What is your birthstone?
I'm a diamond. I'm an April.
Oh.
Kind of a big deal. What's your birthstone?
I'm going to be honest. Mine is an aquamarine, and that sounds really pretty until you see the actual stone, and then you're like, oh, that's boring.
I'm a diamond. Like, diamond's like, yes, in essence, that's cool, but it's also boring. Like, it's not even a color. It's just silver. So it's like, yeah, I'm bougie. Like, I'm a diamond, but also, like, I don't have anything, like, special about it, so. Yeah,
my birthstone is always like the palest blue. I always see like a blue and I'm like, pretty, and people are like, no, not that one.
That's whatever birthday.
I wish I was July because it's a ruby.
Ooh, that would be cool.
Mm-hmm.
Shoot.
Not my birthstone.
Not your birthday. What month are you
in? I'm in March. I'm coming up.
Oh, March and April. Wait, combined SVU birthday party?
What are we gonna do?
I don't know. We're just gonna be on the show.
Fair. That's fair.
We'll like eat cake during it or something, and that'll be like special.
Because that's what people want to hear into their ears on
ASMR, podcast. Baby. Mukbang.
I love ASMR. I hate the sound of people eating. Anyway, moving on. What did I learn? I learned I learned that being weak is not an excuse for murder. It's just pathetic, which I think is so mean.
Pathetic. Didn't we hear a very similar line last week in Charisma when Olivia was talking to the mom and was like,
Yeah.
that doesn't make you a victim, it just makes you pathetic or something. She like said something very similar, and so I love that we're keeping with the theme.
No, she says to Eugene/Abraham, she says, like, you believed your own height.
Yes, oh, so true. You actually believe your own height.
Yes. I think also I learned some sad things.
Yeah.
I learned that that adults are more likely to side with the bullies and think that people being bullied are too sensitive.
Yeah. That was a lot. That's kind of, I think, not unexpected, but it's kind of like something I didn't really think about, but it is true, I guess, if you like really think about it.
Yeah, it makes me really sad, actually. Yeah. I don't know if you can hear people singing, but now there are people singing somewhere.
Oh, I love that. That's some ambiance.
So sorry, everybody. All right. I guess that's our show. Sadly, Lindsey couldn't join us today, which is such a bummer. But maybe we'll do like a special one-off. We'll see. We'll see what we can do. Oh yeah. Thank you, Taylor, for being here. What the plan is, let me tell you that before we tell you where everything is. Next week, new episodes return. That said, we have a theory that it's one and then a break because it seems like the next episode is going to be the crossover with organized crime.
April 1st. So
right.
We're about to maybe have a month and a half.
And if that is the case, we will
continue. It's honestly fine because I'm having fun with these.
We will keep doing old episodes. And yeah, so let us know which old episodes we should be doing by tweeting at us. So Taylor, where can everyone find you, the poll, and tell you what episode they want us to do?
Yes, you guys can find me, the poll, and tell me what episode we want to do on Twitter at alphabet_and. If you want to follow me on Instagram, I'm also there at Taylor_Gates_. I also have a Twilight podcast called The Win and Forks. If that's your thing, it's a good time over there too. We break down the Twilight books.
Awesome. I am everywhere at Yael Tygiel. That's YAELTYGIEL. I also do a show called Super Lady Hero Hour on Wednesdays at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. So check that out if you are into any of the superhero shows. We talk about all of the ones that are currently airing, including WandaVision, Black Lightning, and Batwoman. Soon we're going to be adding Superman and Lois and The Flash when they return this month. So yeah. Also, I'm pretty much watching SVU anytime I'm not doing this show. In fact, yesterday I was watching on Ion. They did season 17 and then finished it, killed Dodds, and sent us back to season 1. So I've rewatched season 1 again.
That's incredible.
Yeah, they made us cry, and then we're like, but first, payback.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool. My friend and co-writer just started it from the very beginning, and he's seen like sporadic episodes, like quite a few of them, but he's binging from the start, and I'm very excited for his journey. I
am so excited for your friend. I really hope that Sergio has caught up with season 1 by now.
Yeah.
Our old guest Sergio. Because if we're going to be doing old episodes, then we're going to be bringing on friends. Speaking of friends, next week, Felicia Michelle will be returning to the show with us. On a permanent basis, hopefully. So stick around for that. Again, if you need help, please reach out to RAINN, 1-800-656-4673, 1-800-656-4673. Okay, I think I've given you all the information. I think you know everything now. We will see you next week for more S Review. Bye, everybody.